Pastors pour out day after day, often with little space to rest themselves. Dan Dean has spent decades ministering to others as a pastor, as a songwriter, and the lead voice of Phillips, Craig, and Dean. He joins us now to share about his new record, More, and the heart behind Shepherd's Rest, a place of renewal for pastors and families. Dan, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being here.
So good to be here with you.
Phillips, Craig, and Dean. Now, how did you guys all get together? Because were you all, throughout the years, you've all been pastoring and part of this musical group, but how'd you all get together to start with?
Well, we kind of grew up in the same church circles, knew about each other's music, and each of us had pursued solo projects. And Randy had a project he took to Nashville and pitched it to a record company, and they said, you know, we have a lot of male soloists, but if you could put together a group, we might be interested. So he called me. Together we called Sean, and that was October of '92, I believe.
And it worked well.
So
it worked well. Very successful.
We had 2 or 3 concerts, and the next time we got together was to do our first project. So kind of doesn't usually happen that way as a God thing.
And so doing all these tours, dates on the road, making records, but also 3 pastors as well, full-time senior pastors.
Well, at the time we started, we weren't the lead pastors.
Okay.
That came as we matured in our roles at our churches, but eventually we all became the lead pastors. And things became a bit more challenging, and we had to eliminate Saturday night concerts, and some of the tours would be, you know, flying in at the crack of dawn on Sundays. So it was a challenge, but we made it.
So over the years for you, how did your pastoring impact your worship and songwriting, and vice versa, your worship time affecting your time in the church and in the pulpit?
Well, I think I've always been a psalmist at heart. Probably my primary function and calling was as a songwriter and singer and musician. My pastor developed cancer, so I had to step into the role while he was going through all of that. And eventually he passed from the cancer. They said, we feel like you're the guy. So I stepped into that role, and I found that the church became a breeding place for the songs that I would write, things that people were going through, and seeing firsthand what people were experiencing in their lives was an incredible inspiration for me to write songs of hope for people that were traveling through difficult places.
Well, and you've been doing a lot of writing recently. Your new record, More. Tell us the origination of this and what the message of the tracks are.
Well, I went to the guys. I said, "Hey, I've stepped down as the lead pastor of the church, and I have more time. Would you mind? Would you be supportive of me doing a solo project?" And they said, "Go for it. Phillips, Craig, and Dean is still my priority when we sing. Go travel." But I had songs that I had written and was writing, and so I stepped out. One of the reasons for this project was to raise funds for a nonprofit that I've started called Shepherd's Rest. I have found through the years, and especially since COVID, that pastors are very lonely people. COVID, I was in the position of, I just stepped down from lead role, but I saw my son, who is now the lead pastor, having to try to make decisions of what we do, what we don't do, what we say, what we don't say. And it was a very difficult position. And this trust of what do I say and who do I trust? And I think it's been that way for many years for pastors. They don't want to get close to people. They're afraid to trust somebody. So what Shepherd's Rest is about is just we do 3 couples at a time. My wife and I take them away to some really nice retreat place, and we just say, hey, there's no agenda. We're just going to love on you, pray for you, feed you real nice, treat you great, and hopefully create a place where you can just relax for a few days and have fun.
I'm sure it's too good for them to believe at first, right? I guess you're seeing great fruit from this by the time it's over.
It's been so rewarding to just watch them come in and for a few days lay all the stuff down and just enjoy life for a few days.
So if we could just focus in on this for a second, even after COVID now, you talked about a lot of pastors and maybe the spouse of the they don't know who to trust, et cetera. People are lonely in general, but why people who are leading churches, do you think, particularly an issue?
It's,
do they feel they have to be perfect and can't show the rough spots?
They have to, somehow there's this feeling out there that they can't ever make mistakes. They can't ever have struggle in their life. And I heard T.D. Jakes one time said a remark that I heard that I noted. He said, your people in your church want to know you've gone through things, but only after you're through them. Okay. They don't want to know you're ever struggling with something. And I think the climate of today's world, where there's so much out there in social media, that opinions and criticisms, and if you say something, you're going to have a certain segment that get mad. If you don't say something, you're going to have a certain segment that are mad at you. So it's just a tenuous place to be, and I feel great empathy for people leading in any kind of area in the church today.
So at Shepherd's Rest, I know it's not just about rest or having quiet. Is there a particular way you counsel pastors and spouse to reconnect with the Lord, or is there something new you counsel them to do in their faith walk?
You know, I think more than anything, I try to provide an atmosphere where they can come in, and we don't prod and try to open doors ourselves, but if they feel the liberty at some point during that period to say, hey, let's talk about this. I give them a sounding board. I'm not there to fix anything. I'm just there to listen. And hopefully that goes beyond just the 3 days. They feel they've found somebody that they can trust. They can call and bounce something off of. And that's really the ultimate goal, is to connect in a way they feel safe.
And you've walked through your own struggles.
Absolutely. You know, I think one of the most traumatic things I faced was my daughter got pregnant out of wedlock, and the struggle of, do I tell the church what we're going through? Do I not tell the church? And in my case, some of the elders said, you have to tell the church. They will want to be there to support you. And they were right. I found a group of people willing to be there for us, and it was a great experience. But the struggle of knowing what to do exactly is not always easy.
Now, when I asked you about your new release, your new music release, you were very humble and turned it towards Shepherd's Rest. But talk about your new music and the message you're giving out.
This is a culmination of songs that I've written or co-written with people over the course of the last 5 years. So I hope that it's not a quote-unquote praise and worship album. I think these songs are more what I love to write, is where most songs nowadays are very, up worship. These are talking to people about what they're walking through or about experiences in life, and a couple of songs of there regarding my mother. When I was young, I wrote a song about my children. Now I write a song about my mother, who recently passed, and I think it's that people are going to really enjoy it. If they love Phillips, Craig and Dean music, they're going to enjoy this. It's got a little bit of country flavor to it musically. So,
and in just a moment, we're going to hear you play. But the last question here, not just for pastors, but people watching who feel like they need hope.
Yeah, well, this song I'm going to sing, I think, will speak to them. It just talks about, regardless of what you're walking through, God has what you need to sustain you through it. You need comfort, He's got that. You need love, you need support, you need forgiveness. All of those things can be found in Him.